back to, or welcome back, depending on if this is the first time. This is the High Heels Happy Hour podcast. I'm Kristina.
Yes, and I'm Ingrid.
And here we discuss everything entrepreneurial, female entrepreneurship, and a few brave men, right?
Yeah.
And most things entrepreneurial relates both to men and women. But since we are female, we know us better.
Yes, a little bit better.
Yeah. And if you are watching us on YouTube, cool, then you get the full experience. We make a lot of funny faces. We're very animated when we speak. There's
They're
a lot
not
of hands.
all funny.
No, but we do, especially when we look through the
video.
when you do, YouTube gives you like suggestions of thumbnails. Oh my God, they're hilarious.
We should start making them as
because they're just
gifts.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think
we even laugh.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun.
That is what makes it fun.
Like always, we can check in. So I'll go first.
Yeah.
There's really nothing eventful, which is, I guess
no
it's
news
good.
on the
No bad. When no news is good news.
I just see we forgot to change this, but that's okay. We're still unwinding and unplugging.
We are for the summer. Nothing crazy. Everyone's just hanging out. The kids picked up rollerblading.
Oh.
And they've been all
in the neighborhood.
Oh. They thought regular quads, which is regular skates, is just not cool. Oh. So they all got rollerblades.
Yeah.
And they told me that I should get a pair. And I was like, well, my body does not move like it used to. So I probably do like the sitting down quads while I rollerblade.
Oh, no, my husband rollerblades a lot in our neighborhood. He's always been into that, like fast.
Oh.
But he was great at hockey and a lot of skating. I skated a lot in Sweden. You skated a lot as a kid, but something with the asphalt and the falling and it just hurts a lot.
Yeah,
so I don't really trust myself on rollerblades.
But they love it. They all have brand new pairs and all that good stuff. So how about you?
Yeah, no, it's everything's good. Nothing major, exciting, and my son got his new car, and he's happy about that. So, yeah.
New car is exciting. Love it.
Good for him. I did not get a new car. Just saying.
I definitely did not. Oh, man. One of these days, I'll share the story with my car. But for now, I'm going to share with you my life hack.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have one yet, a cleaning lady that comes in. So I've mastered the 20-minute break with 10-minute cleaning. So we'll have the children and I will clean for 10 minutes, put the timer on.
Yeah.
A really loud timer, like what we use for the Pomodoro. And 10 minutes of cleaning. So you do not do anything else but clean for 10 minutes. And then we all take a break.
That's good. I like that. So like a cleaning Pomodoro.
Yes. And they love it because then they can do whatever they want. Fortnite, reading, running, eating, whatever they want. And then they go back. So we do that for give or take like an hour or so.
Yeah.
But it's only 30 minutes of cleaning. But it's scattered out.
Okay.
And things get done.
That's good.
So if you have a hard time getting the kids to clean, do that as an incentive. Well, try it and see. But it works for me too.
Good.
So
good for
I guess
you.
I did it for self reasons.
Well, you can always blame the kids, but then what is my hack? Oh, I'm continuing my travel vacation hacks because that's the theme I'm on. So, one thing that I'm always, and I'm sure it has happened to me in the past, but I'm always shocked when I go away with other people and they say, oh my God, I didn't know it was going to be so cold. Okay, so there are two apps that you have on your phone that you need when you pack for travel. Mm-hmm. The first one is your weather app. That is, I mean, how can you not? We are so fortunate that we live in a time where we can go anywhere in the world on our app and figure out what the weather is going to be like for the next week or for the next whatever 12 days or whatever it is. And yeah, sure, it changes a little bit, but it's not going to change 20 degrees. So if you're going somewhere and you see, ooh, it's going to be in the 50s or 60s, then bring a sweater. It's not that hard. So that's the first app. Check the weather at your destination. It is not rocket science. Number 2.
What is science?
Well, it's not science for me. Someone had to come up with the app.
I'm just teasing. Okay.
And then number 2, all these people overpacking or underpacking. Like, oh, I didn't bring an extra pair of, or I have 5 pants and I'm going to be gone one day. So you know the number of days. So the other app is your calendar. If you have a Google Calendar or whatever calendar you use, just check on what are you doing when you're on vacation?
People
so
don't
you
do
check
that.
The weather? No.
Oh, gosh.
They would just throw stuff in their bags and go, oh, I didn't. Or you have 5 dresses and they're only 2 nights. You're going to dress up. No. Plan ahead. So before you put stuff in your bag, plan the day and the weather. So okay, Monday it's going to be this cold during the day, this at night, and then during the day I'm going to wear this, and at night I'm going to wear that. And then you go to the next day and you see if you can reuse, but that plan it before everything and the kitchen sink ends up in your bag, because otherwise you pay for a lot of unused luggage, and luggage fees are expensive. So weather app, calendar, boom, that's my hack.
I love it. And I'm just thinking of, if you take so much stuff, then you have to clean it. That's so much more stuff you have to clean and wash.
Well, if you don't use it, you don't have to clean it. But I'm more like, why log a bunch of stuff around it? Or vice versa. Why not be prepared?
I think that's more important, to be prepared.
Yeah, it's not gonna come out of the blue. I mean, I go away for a month, so it's a little harder to plan every day, but I can, in general terms, I know that this week will be there, that week. So I have planned out kind of, and what can be reused from week to week, because if you see different people, you can use the same clothes.
And you probably wash over there too.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, today we're continuing our story of entrepreneurial
hustle
journey.
Stories.
So we named it Hustle Stories.
Dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And today
I am interviewing
me.
Kristina.
Yes. So we've interviewed, you've heard from Brandy before, but we said, wait, we have entrepreneurial journeys as well, and you might not mind hearing about ours. And of course, those we can share in detail because we know all about them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yes,
we are going to get right to it.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So, Kristina, I know about you, but tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, your professional background, like who were you?
Who was
before?
Yeah. So how I ended up doing what I'm doing. Well, background. Well, those of you that have listened know that I'm Swedish. And my professional background is I was in advertising for over 10 years. And that's how I came to the United States. I was transferred through the agency in Sweden to work at the head office in New York City. So my professional background is marketing, advertising. But before that, as we say in the intro to this show, I had been makeup artist. I had been a skiing instructor, fitness instructor, worked selling bathing suits. Cleaning. I had my own cleaning company for years too. I started working as a cleaning lady when I was 12. My dad, his dental practice, because I was always a neat freak. And my dad said, well, I can pay you or I can pay someone else if you want to come and clean my practice. So his staff kind of cleaned on a daily basis, but I did the heavy lifting once a week. From 12 to 20, I did that every week. Or 22, actually. I might have been. Oh, it was every Sunday I cleaned the dentist office. Yes. So yeah, I've had a lot of background, but marketing advertising brought me to the US. And then after 9/11 in New York City, I experienced that firsthand. And I knew that was not what my gift to the world was going to be. It just felt kind of, I know it's important, but it was not how I wanted to help people. I felt like even if I can say that my job is that important and it's big clients and a lot of money, it didn't feel like really helping people. So that's when but I wanted to stay in the country. So in order to stay, I had to get another visa because my visa was tied to my job. So I went back to school and studied interior design. And why interior design? It just seemed like a fun thing. And I think HGTV had just started. So I just thought, ooh, this is fun. So yeah, it was not a huge thought process behind it. I just wanted to do something else at interior design.
And sometimes you don't need a whole lot of stuff, a lot of just.
Yeah. But I had, so I, in advertising, I was very young to be in the position I was in. I was young, well paid. And then I went back to college and then I was old and not paid at all. So that was a little hard. I mean, I was married at that time. I had married Michael. So I had to go from being super independent, having all my own money to, can I please have money? It was hard.
It's a little humbling.
That's very humbling. Very. And of course I had made a lot of money, but living in New York City, I also burned through that money really fast. So there was not a lot of saving going on. And yeah, but going back to college, studied interior design and absolutely loved it. And I will say throughout my life, I've always had kind of that eye for detail and kind of like a sense of what works, what doesn't work. I can't explain it, but I think in advertising or in interior design school, then I learned why it works. Like I knew if things look good or not, but I couldn't explain it to others. But that really gave me the reasoning behind why certain things work and not. So I loved it. And after I graduated, had our son Figge at the time, and my husband really wanted to move to Florida. Always wanted. My husband, for those of you that don't know, he's an ex-professional tennis player, and even though Atlanta, where we lived, it was so warm, it's not a year-round play tennis, golf. No, it can get cold. So he wanted to move to Florida, and it was right in the building boom when Florida were exploding. So as an interior designer, it felt like, oh, that would be a great place. But I thought I was going to be employed by design studio down here. So I was looking for jobs. But instead, I was offered projects like, oh, can you do our house? Can you do this? I did the Boulevard Clubhouse. It was just being built. So it forced me into entrepreneurship. Not forced me, it just happened. But I wasn't looking for it at the time because I thought I was too new to go in for business. So also stepping back, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Both my parents were entrepreneurs. My mom had clothing chains and my dad was a dentist. My grandparents were entrepreneurs, all of them. So that, I mean, it was a natural way of life, but I just figured it will happen eventually. But at the time when I started my first interior design company, I did not think I was ready yet. But since I got not job offers, but project offers, then I was like, well, I might as well just work for myself then. So that's how it started 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had no choice but to.
Well, I guess I had a choice, but had I been employed by some firm, I probably would have said yes. But no, it was all great. It was great.
A blessing in disguise.
It was a blessing in disguise.
Huh.
Yeah.
I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to, what is your why? Or what people might think of your driving force.
Okay. So I will say that my of course, behind any why I have work-wise or in life is, of course, the family, and that I want to be able to provide. I want to, as most people, or if not everyone, I also want to be a good role model for my children. But I think why I love to do specifically what I do with interior design and personal styling is that I feel life is way too short to walk around and not be happy with how you show up in the world, how you live, how you look. Too many people that I meet, and we all meet, are just not happy, want to hide in some way, or constantly wanting to change or waiting for that change. And I feel like, no, we need to do it now and here. And I want to be able to provide that where you feel happy and confident showing up who you are every day, not just certain occasions. So I think that's my big why. And I know having that kind of gift or whatever you call it, for me, these things have always come natural. So it's my duty to pass that on. And it's not, again, not rocket science, but we're all good at different things, right? Someone might be really good at singing or whatever it is. I can see style, what works. I just have that eye, I know, which I've always thought everyone had, but learning, that's not the case.
No, not everyone does.
But I have come up with a way where I can teach it to others. And I think today that's like, the more people I can teach to do it for themselves, the better.
I love it. Because I think you pull out a lot of authenticity. You kind of tweak what they like.
Yeah.
And enhance it to, no, you can do this and you can do that too.
Yeah.
So it just makes it more eye-opening. So
Yeah.
I've seen you, start someone here, and then you've seen the finish, go, oh my gosh, I didn't know I can look like this, or my house can do this.
Yeah.
With just a little knowledge.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I love it.
And again, it is not hard. Well, it could be harder for some people, but there is a reasoning behind it. There is a way you can learn to do for yourself, even if you feel you're not born with a gene, so to speak.
Yes, I was definitely not born with that gene, so I'm happy that we met. So you talked a little bit about this on our next question, is kind of what inspired you to start your entrepreneurial journey, kind of what led you to start
my hustle.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, as I said, it kind of fell in my lap, but I do think I started as an interior designer. The company I have today, Aesthetics and Style, that was born out of me adding image consulting into the mix. So I think, but that was a process. And in between there, I was a Mary Kay sales director too for many years. So when Aesthetics and Style was formed in 2018, it was learning how you combine it all, kind of seeing the full not just the home, not just the person, but how it all works together, hand in hand, and how you can really affect someone's life when you look at it from all, because so many rules are the same when it comes to personal style and interior style. It's the same rules apply, but to kind of combine it all, that was exciting, which I didn't think for myself was. I thought that was just crazy talk, but really I love that I get to do both, sometimes separately, but even better when I get to do them combined.
Yeah, I bet.
And again, having parents that were entrepreneurs, I knew I was going to do it at some point, but didn't know when. But yeah. Now I could never, having been employed by corporate America and corporate Sweden, I could never go back to being employed by someone else. Never.
That can be tough.
Yeah. I mean, I sit on boards, I can, do things, volunteer, where you have someone else who is in charge. I don't mind that, but someone else
to depend on
paycheck wise, to depend on schedule wise. No, absolutely not. That's a big firm. No.
I love it. Yeah, no, I can see that. Let's see. So this one I like. Well, I like all of them, but what's the best advice that you have ever gotten?
Yeah, that's a hard one, because there's so much, there's so many things people have told you throughout the years that are great advice in different circumstances. But I think one of the best things we were told, actually in Mary Kay the first time, was make everyone you meet feel important. And the sense of, how do people feel when they leave your space?
That gave me goosebumps, because that's such a huge
and I
thing.
think that to me just speaks volume. It's not just through what you do for a living, but it's in every way you act around people. How do they feel after they've been in your space? So it's whether or not you smile, look people in the eye and smile, whether it's the cash out at Publix or it doesn't matter who it is. You want to make sure people feel great in your presence, and you make people feel important. Don't belittle anyone and in what they do, or just make everyone feel special. And of course, in my job, it can be easy to make someone feel special, because it's kind of, it's all like style and pretty things and happiness that way, but in every aspect of life.
But the initial contact too. I mean, you when you talk, what you're talking about now is when you have them as a client.
Yeah.
But in order for them to have you or hire you, you would have had to make that impression on them.
Yeah, you would hope.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they hired you.
Yeah.
But if you didn't make that, or if you weren't aware of that, then you wouldn't have.
Yeah. But I think in all aspects of life, you want to make sure, and we talked about it many times, be an active listener, pay attention. But really, a little kindness goes a long way. And I try to live by it. But I do have a short temper. I don't know if you noticed. I get fast quick. I get angry quick, but then I calm down quick too. But and I don't hold a grudge, so I can get over things very fast.
We're a little different.
Yes, but it's to sometimes on the phone I can be not so nice when I speak to companies or service departments, and you're like, what? To Ingrid? Well, it's only when Ingrid deserves it. No, just kidding.
Do you guys hear that? Oh my!
No.
They heard it. It's recorded.
Yes. No, just kidding. But it's important. Afterwards, I'm like, man, that wasn't nice. I should have known better. Yeah. So I try to live by that. Yeah.
I think it's a great thing to live by.
I should say another professional thing, since you've heard our episode a couple of weeks back, or maybe it was last week. Building an email list. that was the best professional tips, the importance of starting your email list. And at the time, I was like, what am I going to do with that? And I was so glad someone told me that early on. Yes.
Love it. Okay. So, what do you wish? Wow, this is a really good one. Someone had told you about entrepreneurship. Any rude awakenings that you're just like, whoa, if I would have known?
I will say no. I mean, really, there's really not, since I've had parents that went through it, I've seen it my whole life. And I know for my dad, it was a little different. He had a lot of emergencies come up as a dentist, where maybe if he was on vacation away from Stockholm, the city where I grew up, then he couldn't do much. But it was a weekend or something, he would go in and help out, do emergency if he could. So I knew that. And then with my mom, I know staffing issues, taking care of taxes, all that stuff. I mean, we went through, and also when she had customers complaining, or so a lot of that I knew that you had to put in hours, you had to work hard. When it's your own business, you kind of you live with your business. So that was not rude awakenings. I knew that. No, I think I was fairly. I think the big difference from being employed is loneliness. You can feel a little lonely, because when you're in an environment with colleagues, you always have someone to bounce ideas with, or you can chat to someone. But when you're a solopreneur, it was it was me, myself, and I could ask my husband's advice, but it was probably not for the best in this case, in the sign case. But
no, that was not what I was looking for.
no. So yeah, and I think so. The importance of making sure that you have, like we talked about too, networking opportunities, or chance to have people maybe that do the same thing as you do, and just bounce ideas. I think. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, because you kind of had a lot growing up. You were kind of you saw it. You saw it. You lived all the rude awakening.
Yep. No,
so
I
you
knew.
Kind of knew.
I knew the problems.
So, how do you handle failure or mistakes? Or actually, can you share something you've gone through that you've kind of maybe a hiccup, and that you were able to bounce back, or something that you're just like, gosh.
Well, I've never done a mistake or have any issues whatsoever. Just kidding. No, yeah. Well,
you might have.
Yeah, no, of course. I think I will say though, one thing about getting older is you don't take things as personal anymore. I've noticed that big difference.
I'm not there yet.
No, I don't care as much about what other people think. I think with experience and with somewhat maturity, you kind of like, oh, whatever. But sometimes, I mean, I think taking things personal when you are working for yourself and your business is your baby, it's harder to say, oh, it has nothing to do with me. The fact that they, dismissed me or didn't hire me, or of course. Yes. But I've had, especially one, and I will say it has not happened often, but I had a client who wanted to hire me interior wise, and after initial 2 weeks of working, I'm just noticing that this is not going to. I mean, there's no way this is going to work. So I resigned and gave her money back. And I think she was not upset with me doing it. So I think it was mutual. We were just not we were not compatible in not so much style wise, but in how we worked and how expectations. And yeah, it just was not, she said she liked a certain style, and then what she showed me was something completely different. So I never knew what it was she actually wanted. I don't think she knew either, but doesn't matter. Her reasoning. It's her house, so she's entitled to want whatever she wants. But that's the only time I have fired clients. And I think had I not done it, she probably would have fired me down the line. I think I just
beat her to it. Yeah, that's...
And I just gave her all her money back and said, you know what? I had done some work already, but it just felt like the money was not that important. I wanted us to end on a
clean break.
Yeah, and a sort of a positive, not positive, but at least no held grudges. So if I lost some money there, that's completely fine. It was my time. I didn't have any out-of-pocket expenses. So that's one way. You gotta take the dollar signs out, and you gotta take yourself out of the equation. Same thing with when you have with design, and you might come up with concepts and suggest all these furniture for a client that you think is like, this is perfect, and they show you something they picked out themselves, and it's not completely what you had in mind. But you know what? It's not my house. If they love that, that's perfect, and then it's the perfect thing for their house. So I just take myself. It's out of I have no ego when it comes to someone else's house. Absolutely not. But I did way more in the beginning. So just got to understand, they're the ones living there, not me.
Yeah, because I think maybe I don't know if I'm wrong, but you're thinking, well, then if you're going to just choose what you like, then why did you hire me?
Well, sometimes hiring someone, you don't necessarily hire me for me to make all the options, but you hire me to get my or to
opinion.
Get second opinion on things.
Right, but I think before, if I'm understanding, you would probably take it more personal, saying,
hey,
like,
exactly. So that would be more like, well, obviously you don't need me.
We all need a Kristina. So this would be interesting to hear.
Oh, okay. Shoot. I can't wait to hear it either.
How do you manage stress, or what I love to call it, how do you maintain harmony?
Oh, well, so I will say I do have a fairly high stress tolerance. I know that. I can. Because I think too, having done in advertising, you won't survive a week if you don't have high stress tolerance. So I know to my own detriment, which has been, it's my stomach, because I kind of carry stress in my stomach. But anyway, I think physical activity is the way I manage stress the best. So running, walking, any kind of workout. Boxing is a good one. I haven't done that in a while, but it's fun. And no, I think movement always lowers stress. And I do, I schedule my workouts like I schedule any other meeting. So I don't think I really get super stressed that often, because it's kind of built into the system that I'm going to work out. But I think, physical movement is the best way. And then the other way I handle stress is, yes, in my gut, but also I go inwards. I'm not a scream, shout, throw things stress person. I get super quiet and just go into my own world. You might ask me things, but I won't answer because I'm just so inward.
So you close off completely.
Yes. When I get stressed, then I just focus. Then I'm just super focused on what it is I have to do, and then everything else just gets blurred. laser vision.
See, I knew I was going to be a little.
Yeah. No, it's that's not great either, because then people might need you and you're like, ugh. But I'm like, leave me alone. Let me get done what I need to do, and then I'll be fine.
Huh.
Which was not great when you're employed by other people. They need your attention.
No, I would, yeah.
But when you work for yourself, it works better.
I learned something new. Yeah. Well, I think I knew that about you, but I think differently. So that's where I learned how to work with you.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that about you, and I was like, huh. It's like, she's not okay. Okay. I'm like, wow. Okay. Oh, well, okay. Yeah. But that's who you be.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Can't help it.
No, but it's, it's good to know. And that's a perfect example when you network or when you work with people. It's good to know how they work.
Yep.
When they're stressed, happy, indifferent, excited, and all that good stuff.
But I don't think I can't say that I'm super stressed these days. I don't think I am. I mean, we all have levels, but it's not. I don't think my job is super stressful. There are periods where I have to do more and less, and there's really something needs to get done. We all have deadlines, but no, I think working out and making sure I move. I think I'm fairly level-headed these days.
Love it.
Fairly. I mean, like, yeah.
Hey, fairly, it can be used super widely. Okay. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, so 5 years, which will be here before we know it. So, okay, 5 years, I will have no children at home, which is really scary. Oh, I will be an empty nester, unless one moved back home, but I don't think that's going to happen. So they will be in college and out of college. No, I think I will. I do not have any plans on retirements at a certain age. I feel like I want to live till I'm like 120. And I think we can hack with biohacking, that's going to be possible, and good living and taking care of yourself. But I feel like I love what I do. I might not work as much when I get older, but 5 years from now, I think my company is still thriving. Probably, I probably have employed someone part-time, but have more sort of contractors helping me with things.
I can see that.
And I hope I get to do keep working in the online space, so I can do more courses and maybe online master classes and things. I hope to do more of that. In 5 years, I think I will do more of that.
Stay tuned.
Dun, dun, dun.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
So I love that. So I'm gonna hold you to it.
Okay.
Because you're my friend, fine. And I'm gonna. Okay, Kristina, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I love it.
So 5 years. Where are we then? Wow, 20, 28.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've heard a little bit, but if this is their first episode they're listening to,
well, congratulations.
Yes, about time. Like, come on. Where can they find you?
Oh, so you can find me on the High Heels Happy Hour website. No, so you can find me at KristinaPernfors.com. Can't spell my name by now. Check out the show notes. You can find me at connectwithkristina.com. Kristina with a K. And there you find links on how you sign up for my newsletters and all that good stuff. TED Talks, all that good stuff. And then my company's name, if you want to see kind of work I've done, it's aestheticsandstyle.com. And I'm not going to spell it here. Check the show notes.
Yes. Check it out. Okay.
Yeah. And then on Instagram, of course, Kristina Pernfors, Facebook, Kristina Pernfors, and LinkedIn.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So anything you would like to add, disclose?
No, I mean, I think it's funny that as a Swedish girl, as little, if they would have told me I would have been, living the American dream, I would probably not have thought that was possible. So yeah, doing it over here in the US, kind of having your own company, living the American dream is pretty cool.
And you've done pretty awesome at it.
Well,
so
I learn something new every day, and
that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key to a good life.
Yeah. If you don't, as I've said before too, if you don't grow, you die. If you don't go one way, you go the other way, and that's just deteriorating and disappearing.
And no fun.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was fun because I knew some stuff about you, but
isn't it great that we can still surprise each other?
Yeah. You've done that quite a bit the last few episodes.
Yes, that's right. I was a vegetarian for 34 years. Not anymore. Yes.
And she waits to tell me in front of you all.
Yes.
That was probably like 1,000 GIFs. It was like you could have taken like a bunch of pictures during that 2 minutes of breaking news.
What?
Yes. Oh my. That is what I did. Oh my. Well, Kristina. Like always, this is always fun.
And I will say for those of you that are thinking of entrepreneurship, definitely try it out. Try it as a side hustle first, and then do it. It's so worth it.
Why not?
Yes. All right. Cheers. Skål. It's just Swedish. Yes.
Salud.
Skål. Bye-bye.